You're listening to the Chartographers.
Hello, everybody! You're listening to the Chartographers. It is the Happy Hour Minisode about the Quentin Tarantino Soundtracks, an experiment that somehow inexplicably worked, and I'm very, very excited about it. Of course, it is me, Evan Sadi. Of course, in the room is also Taran O'Reilly. It is Dave Coupe. It is John Gleason, Teske. Find us on our Instagrams. They're all our names. Most importantly, though, we are talking about Quentin Tarantino Soundtracks, and it's a Happy Hour Minisode, which means it's the time to say the thing we do at the start of every Happy Hour Minisode. Bring out the GIMP! Oh, he's sleeping. Never mind. So, on top of that, we are...
And you better wake up the GIMP.
Yeah. I honestly... just going back to a thing that you mentioned and have also mentioned a couple times tonight, I don't know why we were so like, oh, is this gonna work? This is a weird kind of episode to do. Like, we're still just talking about chunks of music, you know?
Well, probably because there's another medium involved. You know what I mean? Where it's like, it's hard to separate the music from the movie, but we did a really good job.
Well, because also I feel like, and I think, Dave, you had this point when we talked about it earlier, there's the idea of like when you're doing a band like Gorillaz or Guster or whatnot, it's coming from like a singular artistic thing. This group makes songs, do you do this? And here's someone pulling songs from all these other different groups. It's still in his vision.
And oftentimes it's in the order they appear in the film, which doesn't necessarily make for a cohesive, kind of flowy album experience.
Exactly. So it was a little bit different in that sense. I'm so glad we did it. I feel confident. I feel great. It was an awesome episode. But most importantly, it's a Happy Hour Mini episode, and there's a tradition to that, which is, guys, what is the worst song on a Tarantino soundtrack?
Wow, that's a great question.
Hold on.
Oh, it is not Hush.
It is Flip Stang from Kill Bill Volume 1.
Okay, it is OUT the Oren Ishii by
Wait,
RZA.
wait.
Easy there, Slugger.
No, that's my choice.
Yeah.
That's for sure my choice.
It's definitely Axe Throw.
I really enjoyed. I was pissed off the first dozen times I listened to that back in the day, but going through that, oh no, this is the weird spoken word RZA poem.
He gets so angry at the end. Yeah.
But it's also, just not a good poem.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's just like a recap of literally everything that the movie tells us.
And then there's the Black Mamba song, that's the hidden track at the end of Kill Bill Volume 2, which I don't think is better. I don't know if it's worse or not, but it is...
Django the D is Silent is also... I think it's better than these songs, but it's also out of place. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, Coop's looking at his notes extensively. I would say that cover of Magic Carpet Ride is close.
That's my pick for the
And I feel like there's so many songs in this discography, if you can even call it that, that are fine songs.
Yeah.
Some are even good songs that I don't care about.
Yeah.
That was Taran's experience with some of the Jackie Brown soundtrack.
There are so many songs where you're just like, and I think part of this is because we are also, I don't know, this almost feels weird to say, but we also have another 20 years of music to compare everything to. So for me, the generic surf rock, and on Jackie Brown, there's some really pretty generic 70s pop, 70s fluff to me, and I feel about that too, about the Bedlam, and there's even a couple songs on Pulp Fiction that are that thing where it's just I've heard this thing
the specific
done
template
so many times and with actually interesting elements added to it as well that just this basic I don't know if this is just actually the songs or if this is something where maybe they haven't aged well, but just comparing them to all of music as we know, or pop music, as someone who listens to a lot of that.
And and the thing about it is this is not arranged. These albums are not composed together by a musician.
Right.
At all.
Right.
They are not even, there's barely anybody else who will do that kind of music because Tarantino says, he would hate to give anyone else that kind of power on his movie. He doesn't want anyone else to be soundtrack guy.
Yeah.
Or soundtrack person.
I mean, I think, but also, and I think this is just sort of a fun reason to talk about why this is the director we're doing in the first place, is just he's clearly someone with such a keen sense of music that I almost respect him as a musician anyway. Well, he doesn't hear me out. a loose use of that word.
Sure.
Like, he still edits to the music. He still knows exactly what elements he wants to use where and how, like, this exact part of the music is going to match to, like, he's a good, almost like a good music video director in that way.
Just judging from his choices, he's obviously very well studied.
Yeah.
Like and because he writes to this music, it's stuff he already has. It's not like he's got a music supervisor who goes, you should listen to this. He goes, he knows this shit.
He does say he's not, like, exclusively him, though. He does know how, like, on Pulp Fiction, he lists other people as, like, music, not supervised, like something, a similar title, other people that have recommended songs to him before.
Well, that's all that surf rock.
Like,
exactly.
Like, they knew that, like, I could use this for this kind of scene, so they sent it to me.
Yeah.
I don't think Tarantino's ever surfed a day in his life.
No, I would absolutely
Definitely not.
But, like,
I don't like to get wet.
But more importantly, though, I feel like he's someone, and this is true with his filmmaking, he loves saving people. He really, really does. He does it when it comes to, like, guess what? I'm going to hire John Travolta in my movie because he is washed up at this point.
Saving actors.
Yeah. Like,
Like, characters all die. I don't know what you're talking about.
Pam Grier, honestly, Pam Grier was, like, hadn't really had much of a career, and, like, he really kind of helped thrust her back in the mainstream.
And there's the story of Pam Grier who was fighting hard to get onto Pulp Fiction as whatever the drug dealer's girlfriend, and he went no because the drug dealer's girlfriend gets yelled at and pushed around a lot, and Pam Grier will not be pushed around in my movie.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like he does that with musicians too, where I feel like maybe some of the more pop song, obvious experiments in Pulp Fiction were helpful, but once Miserlou was the song that, like, oh, this is legendary, this is iconic, that's when he started to kind of feel his oats a little bit and be like, I can really do this for a lot of people. Like, honestly, like, I really hadn't heard a lot of songs by Bobby Womack, but I have such a strong positive connotation with 110th Street, across 110th Street, that it just was like, clears everything. So that's why I'm sure he had the time of his fucking life doing Kill Bill, because he really got to do the deepest of dives.
Anything he wanted,
Literally, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is why the 5, 6, 7, 8s are a thing, you know?
And even, like, one of the best songs in that movie is, what's the song? I have it on my notes. I can pull it up very, very quickly. It's the Nobody But Me by the Human Beings. That's not even on the soundtrack, and which is the one where he, like, it's when she's running up the banister and slicing people, and I was like, oh, hell yeah, this song is going to be on the fucking ranking, it's perfect, and I was like, it's not on the soundtrack?
Yeah, there was a couple, well, yeah, and especially fucking Inglourious Bastards, half the fucking songs aren't on the official soundtrack. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's a clearance issue thing or what.
That's why I emailed, we were texting or whatever, and I was like, can we include the awesome music that's not on these soundtracks? And it's like, no. I was like, all right.
And I'm so glad that you challenged me on that, because it was just, especially for me and Taran at the very least, it was helpful to just have that clarity of exactly what.
And it's good to have limitations too.
Yeah.
Because if we could have,
if we're doing the music of Tarantino, that's a different
Then
experience.
we have to, like, if we're going by the standard of, like, what's music's cues that are used in the film, like, we're going by, I mean, we ranked it number 1, but also mocked the inclusion of the, like, sound effects, essentially, the musical sound effects, that, like, then do we have to include all of those, like, 4-second, like, they got a guy in a booth to play a trumpet trill, like, for this one cue, like, we have to include all of those? Actually, I kind of would too.
You know what Kill Bill Volume 2 needs? More sound effects cues on the soundtrack.
I'm just saying.
I mean, maybe it would have beaten Death Proof.
I need the music of toes wiggling slightly. Quentin, you mean the sound of an orgasm?
Yeah. Oh, whatever. I'll record it myself. Don't worry. He is such a weird...
Was that the Quentin Tarantino orgasm?
Yeah, that's what I was.
I just wanted to make sure we're all clear.
He's such a weird fucking guy, guys. It's one of the things, like, he is just clearly a savant at his craft. He clearly loves doing what he's doing so much, but he's also just, like, a little bit full of himself, but, like, in a very specific way.
He just got married and has a baby on the way, too.
Yeah! Good.
His wife's
fucking
hot.
Oh.
Yeah, because she's Leonardo DiCaprio's wife at the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh,
yeah.
God damn.
And he was like, yeah, I definitely need to step away from movies because I need to put a baby in that.
Also, a side note.
Did immediately.
Side note, I'm just gonna put this out here. Imagine at the very end of the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack, a 3-second track that's just that, like, just perfect, just incredible. The igniting incident of the entire goddamn movie.
I love that movie so much.
Yeah.
And liked it the first time. Second time, I was like, I want to climb into that fucking movie and live there and be on the set of the westerns and like I was just because a lot of the stuff that they showed is stuff my dad showed me when I was a little kid. Yeah. So I had the second that Brad Pitt was watching Mannix, I had very strong nostalgia like that hit me hard, and it also felt like a unattainable fairy tale version of it all too, where you're like, that's everything clean and not like the muddiness of like probably what it really was at the time, except the Manson stuff. That's fucked up. But yeah, I felt really strongly about it, and to the point where I wanted the soundtrack to be higher on our list. But again, I was.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there were better battles to fight on that end, 100%. But also, it was so great, though, because I had to point out to Taran during the scene when Candy finds out their plan and confronts them at the dinner table, and then it just, like, as soon as I see that, I'm like, that's real blood on his hand during that infamous DiCaprio. But then that he freaked out, too, because they did a cutaway, and then it did cut back, and then he drags his bloody hand across Hilda's face. Yeah.
And I was just like, there was a cut there, right? Like I immediately got on my phone and was like Googling like, did Leo smear his blood on her face?
Yeah.
No.
That was a real scandal,
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, it was fake blood.
She's on Scandal.
I know. The weird thing is, the jokes!
I'm so mad, I just like...
But to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, some of y'all, Teske, you might know, he didn't have a hand in the soundtracks to True Romance or From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
I don't know. I didn't.
I mean, I don't think he officially had a.
Right.
I mean,
it doesn't have the same flair or touch.
It definitely. I feel like, and he talks about his movies and the movies that are his movies, and he's done a bunch of other things and like helped produce and wrote and like acted in and whatever, and those are movies he has been a part of. And then there are the things that we ranked, and apparently Death Proof, which are Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
And he is the kind of auteur who will like everything about this is coming out of him.
Yeah.
There was a visual aid there, by the way.
Yeah. And I couldn't help but think about Tarantino as an auteur and like masturbation. Kind of went in line with that image. Good. I think it's some of the best masturbatory auteurism of certainly the last 30 years of cinema.
Well, I feel like
Michael Bay can go.
The biggest thing for me is what was pointed out was how in the first three movies the characters are interacting with the songs versus the rest of the time it's literally soundtracking over it. Right. And there's something about when someone does
Once Upon a Time.
A little bit, yeah. And I feel like that just, it kind of adds that additional element to it, though. But I feel like when we brought it up at the start of it, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, that was such a good idea of the soundtrack, too, because the songs were a character in it to a degree. This is like his one connection to Earth, his one connection to the past, and like...
Mom!
Yeah, and it was like, there was like so great because when you hear, that soundtrack was #1 and went multi-platinum and all this other stuff, and all the songs were already released and already available everywhere else, but just to have them in that one perfect package,
but just
that reminded you of that experience was just so impactful.
But just like Mrs. Robinson on
Once Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time, like James gunn has brass balls. Like he put the fucking Pina Colada song in this movie. You're like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
But I do think, and especially in the first three movies, like you're saying, that you like those songs because it reminds you of that time you heard it. Yeah. Or they're fun and it's a throwback, and you are interacting with those songs just like he's interacting with those songs. And I feel like the whole Super 70s weekend, you're interacting with those songs just like he's interacting. I mean, fucking Steelers Wheel, you that scene is creepy because you feel peppy just like Blonde feels peppy.
And he said that song in particular, it's like you are complicit because you're enjoying it. You're enjoying it until you're not enjoying it. Like you have that buy-in of like, I'm here, oh fuck. Like that's kind of that thing.
And
that
I
goes
love
on.
when he walks outside and you're like, okay, that's over. And then he comes back and you're like, we're still with it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But then I always love, oh my god, I remember the fucking time when one year me and my buddy back in Salt Lake, we wound up watching, we just rented all the obscure crazy shit that we could. And so one time, it wasn't exactly in the same evening, it was very close together when we watched it. We watched Roger and Me, the very first Michael Moore documentary, and one of my all-time favorite movies, Das Experiment, like early 2000 German film based on the Stanford prison experiments, where 6 people are prisoners, 4 people are guards. What's their dynamic if you leave them alone for a week? They're going to do it for a whole month, but in real life they had to cancel it after like 8-10 days because things got so fucking intense because people were so in their heads. Amazing dramatization. And both of those motherfucking movies use Wouldn't It Be Nice by the Beach Boys in terrifying, horrifying, terrible context each time. And now because like, it wasn't just one movie, now there's 2 fucking movies that I have that associate with, and I just can't fucking deal with that shit anymore.
You just have to watch
whatsoever.
50 First Dates.
Do I? That's the real question. But also, what was that song that was used in Us at the end when Tim Heidecker's character is... Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like there's another Beach Boys one, but I can't remember it specifically.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fuck. Which one is it? When it comes on,
Is it Good Vibrations or... Yeah.
I think it is. I think
Yeah,
it is Good
yeah.
Vibrations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
God, Us is awesome.
But I just...
Us came out this year.
Yeah.
It's been a long year.
It's been a long fucking year. 2019.
man.
Us and Captain Marvel came out like very close together.
But like, legitimately, I feel like Tarantino really, he upped the soundtrack game so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Exactly, because I feel like people were just they literally used it like, it's a souvenir for the movie. Here's a bunch of songs for the movie. Or here's a score that you
Music
like.
from and inspired by.
Yes, and inspired by is just like, oh, I found this band that we want to try and break. Here's a song they did.
But like also like it's inspired by. Why are you giving me music that's not in the fucking movie?
I fucking remember, I think it was Chris Carabra, whatever the fuck his name is, from Dashboard Confessional. He
Carabra.
We got a couple of those
Yeah.
tonight. It's like,
But I feel like he remembered, like, he was asked by Sony to be like, hey, so we're doing this new movie called Spider-Man 2. We want to know if you could do a song for the soundtrack. And he's like, okay, but does that mean I get to watch Spider-Man 2? And they're like, yes, it does. And so he did that, and then he wrote Vindicated, which was the thing.
Vindicated!
Right.
And isn't Peter Parker getting dressed?
I think
to like
something
going
like
like
that,
go
yeah.
see like Mary Jane's play. So
Speak-
then
oh,
that gets derailed pretty quick.
Briefly, the thing is that, like, the whole idea of Tarantino is making soundtracks about, you know, basically doing songs that the characters would interact with in the world of the film. And then I feel like I've seen so many other composers fuck that up so badly. And I specifically am thinking about Amazing Spider-Man 2, because I think Hans Zimmer got like
Why are we talking about that?
and a bunch of other people to do like, I want to make the music that Peter Parker would listen to, and made some fucking like garbage fucking, you know, bass and drum remix bullshit that was like, what are you even doing? Please stop, for the love of God.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 so bad.
But as long as we're talking about music and Spider-Man movies, when he's listening to Post Malone and Into the Spider-Verse, and he's kind of like,
okay, that's
that was phenomenal.
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean,
the
like,
Spider-Verse soundtrack is fucking awesome.
like helped that song become the massive hit that it did.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
feel like it only hit number 1 like after that.
Yeah,
movie.
it did. Absolutely.
Wasn't it written for the movie?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
so.
okay.
Yeah, it's in the title is like Into the Spider-Verse is like the parenthetical in the title.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know if it
Which is so great. But I even like John Harvey, previous guest of the podcast, he noted that like, I gotta be honest, like I like the song, but seeing him in the movie just kinda like just kinda like half remembering the lyrics, he's like,
because that's us, it's everyone.
right, exactly.
It makes me want to just do that.
Yeah.
And then
Right.
I want to listen to it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is Bohemian Rhapsody. It is a fantastic song in its own right, but like watching Wayne's World is like, oh wait, no, yes, everybody also feels the exact same way about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Of like, it's the song you should headbang in at the car. Like that is why we love it.
It's so weird to me, though, that Tarantino is such a specific auteur in what he does that there's not a lot of imitators. There's not a lot of Tarantino-esque moments. The only thing that comes closest in my mind is Natural Born Killers, the Oliver Stone movie.
Which he
Like,
wrote.
Yeah, which
he
is
wrote.
the same. But he also directed it like a fucking Tarantino movie too, which was just kind of a weird choice. I just remember Robert Downey Jr. shouting in a prison at one point while riots going on.
I remember just being severely bummed out by that movie. I remember I was very high. Sorry, Mom. And I was watching that, and I was like, "This is a bad time." I don't think this guy's gonna be Iron Man.
Yeah, not at all, not one bit. That was that.
Woody Harrelson.
Was that before or after he got fired from Ally McBeal?
Woody Harrelson got fired?
No, Robert Downey Jr.
I
did.
know what you're talking about.
Okay, I wasn't sure. Listen, no.
Lucy Liu already initiates back into Tarantino.
Yeah. Hey! Exactly.
Yeah, we went off. There.
To be fair, we have brought up Amazing Spider-Man 2 and a Quentin Tarantino podcast. The two.
I don't
know why we did that.
If we're talking about music and Spider-Man movies, I mean,
Quentin Tarantino Spider-Man.
Oh my.
I would watch that.
A lot of meth. A lot of meth.
Could that be a 7th movie?
Yeah, can that please happen? Can we
Please do
direct-
Star Trek,
can
then
he
I'll do
direct the
Spider-Man?
next Tom Holland one?
I would watch that way before I would watch a Tarantino Star Trek movie.
I just want a Martin Scorsese Spider-Man movie.
I would watch that too.
I also feel like, well, Scorsese is also someone who had a very impassioned soundtrack, too, with a lot of selections. Because guess what? There's always going to be a fucking Rolling Stones song in it, no matter
Even
what.
in Last Temptation of Christ, weirdly.
Which was really weird, but you know what?
Sympathy for the devil.
I was like, I do my mind Rolodex, and you beat me by 1 second.
Really? That's the
You beat
only
me by
choice.
1 second.
Well, yeah.
Good times. All right, any other Tarantino fun factoids, joy, other things you want to bring up, experiences?
That man likes the N-word.
Yeah. To
I
a
just-
fault?
I just, like, there's this point where I'm listening to it and I'm going, like, it made a lot more sense in Reservoir Dogs because these are all gross people. And, like, by the time we're, like, 7 movies in, like, he's the only guy who can say the N-word anymore.
Right. Well, I remember specifically when we were watching Django, just like it wasn't a relish, but just the casualness of which like Leonardo DiCaprio and Don Johnson were just kind of like, saying it there. But it also really hammered home just the pure empowerment.
They're also
and
slave owners.
yeah, exactly, and
Like,
horrificness of what slavery was.
Well, there's a Jesse, not Jesse Martin, Jesse the other one.
Smollett.
The Grey's Anatomy Jesse. Williams, yes. I always think it's Jesse L. Martin, but it's not. That's a different guy.
He's great on Flash.
He's great in friggin' Rent.
He's Law and Order.
Jesse L. Martin.
It's great. Wait, this is a separate podcast, but Jesse Martin
Jesse L. Martin
and Orbach were on Law and Order, and they didn't do a musical episode, and I don't know why. Anyway,
I would never see that. Also, just Jerry Orbach was just a national treasure, by the way. What happened? Looks like the victim was bejazzled to death. Looks like we're dealing with one crafty criminal. Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Jerry Orbach.
I only realized he was fucking
Is that
weird.
real?
Like, way
God damn
too
it.
recently than I care to
at the point immediately before he died, he was in more Broadway musicals than any living person.
Wow.
And
yeah.
the candelabra in fucking...
Yes,
I
Lumiere.
just
We're
said
talking
that.
about Lumiere.
I only realized that way too recently.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
But Sam Jackson's Jesse Williams was like, I mean, I know it's about slavery, but like this white boy is using this word a lot. Like, this is not cool. And Sam Jackson's pushback is like, come on, telling him to say that is like a movie about Nazis where they don't say kike a bunch. And like, they don't say kike a bunch in Inglourious Bastards. They don't at all. They
don't think they say it once,
They don't say it at all. So like, that's not a good.
I will say, here's the one thing. Inglourious Bastards probably has my single favorite line out of any Tarantino movie ever.
Oh, really?
It's the perfect mixture of accents and just colloquialism and everything else. It's just Brad Pitt with perfect tone saying, "Doggy dog's gonna take that slug out your gam," which is just like one of my all-time favorite. Just like the construction of that sentence is so specific.
I like Dominique the Coco. Dominique, and you get it? Say it again? Dominique the Coco.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I know. I felt bad that soundtrack went so low in our rankings, but at the same time, just because I just have.
But that movie is so high.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's great.
That's definitely one of those. The soundtrack is worse than the movie.
Yeah.
In my ranking.
Well, I mean,
Also, half the songs aren't in it though. The soundtrack, to be fair.
sure, but also I think just it's one of those movies where the soundtrack serves the film instead of being integrated into the film.
Yes.
Right.
Do you know what
Absolutely.
I
And
mean?
also,
Being a starting
think
point.
about, and this is actually something I noticed about Kill Bill Volume 1 as well. Think about the lack of soundtrack in moments. Like the whole fight with Vivica A. Fox in Kill Bill Volume 1, there's no music.
Quite, yeah.
And think about the entire opening sequence in Inglourious Bastards with Hans Landa.
Yeah.
I don't believe there's any soundtrack to that until the Nazis come in to shoot.
Yeah.
Like, that's... Tarantino is amazing at soundtracks, but he's also amazing to know when not to use them.
Yes.
Which is absolutely fair.
Yeah.
He's also amazing at using Christoph Waltz, which no other director has been able to figure out.
How? He's great in Green Hornet.
There we go. Die on that hill, Dave. All right.
He's great when he murders James Franco in Green Hornet.
Okay.
That's a good scene.
Everyone's great when they murder James Franco.
That's true. Especially Jonah Hill in that roast.
It comes from a place of truth.
Also,
anyway.
man, also for Taran who just watched Django Unchained for the first time to be like, is that Jonah Hill? That's Jonah Hill.
And he was originally supposed to play a character that got cut out of the film.
Oh.
Like, because there was, like, I forget his name, but, like, he was supposed to have this major sequence, and, like, several different actors were supposed to be, like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt was going to be it for a minute, then Jonah Hill, and then Tarantino was just like, yeah, we're cutting it out because I can't get any of these guys. And then Jonah Hill's like, what? I freed up my schedule. I'll play the character. He goes, I've let that character go. He goes, can I do anything? He goes, you want to play Klansman for like 5 minutes? He's like, eh.
They're not Klansmen. Technically, they're not. The movie
They're
is
just
set,
a mob.
They're set 10 years before the origin of the Klan.
Really? I didn't know
official
that.
Klan.
Because they're kind of wearing the costume a little
Because
bit.
it's pre-Civil War.
Gotcha.
But that is, I mean, that's where the Klan outfit originated from, was this, like,
Gotcha.
Hooded.
Yeah.
This weird. So I had a buddy playing this weird Italian Christian mythology game, and apparently it comes from like weird eschatological Christian Italian like cone-headed like holy warrior imagery, and that's where you get the Klan costumes from.
Tarantino podcast.
Anyway.
guys.
Can I say something
No,
really
hey,
quickly?
this is relevant.
Yeah.
Can I say something? Having rewatched so much of it, can I just say what an MVP Sam Jackson really is in these movies?
Profoundly.
Like, with
God.
Pulp Fiction,
Yeah, completely.
Jackie Brown, Django Unchained, and Hateful Eight, especially just watching Hateful Eight for the first time since I saw it in theaters, I was like, damn, Sam Jackson's awesome.
I mean, he's like one of the only redeeming qualities of that movie for me. It's way too fucking long. For me,
very
in my humble
Okay.
opinion.
But he was also, he is so fucking good in Django. And he's also
incredible.
in his mid-late 60s, and they still had to put age makeup on him. And it was just incredible.
Also, they de-aged him in Captain Marvel and no one noticed. They're like, oh, he looked like a...
Well,
Until he
because
walked.
he looked like younger, older Sam Jackson, not how Samuel L. Jackson looked when he was younger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the facial shape was.
It wasn't a Gemini Man situation.
That's the thing, like, when they do these de-aging things, is that, like, they look immaculately young, where you're like, Sam Jackson didn't look immaculate.
Yeah.
People still have flaws in their face.
He was like 40 or something in Pulp Fiction. Like
Yeah.
he was into his.
Still his only Oscar nomination for some fucking reason.
Oh my, really?
Yeah.
I feel like they're just like, we're not gonna give Snakes on the Plane guy.
Do we think that Sam Jackson shows up in the new Star Wars movie as a Force Ghost?
I'd love that, personally.
I think there would be a lot of Force Ghosts in the new movie.
Lightning round, real quick. Favorite Tarantino movie? Teske, go.
It's been tough. It's shifted a lot in the last.
Really?
Couple. It's because I really like Pulp Fiction, and I really like Reservoir Dogs, and I really like Jackie Brown, and I really like Kill Bill, and then I remember why I like Hateful Eight, which I didn't remember liking as much.
It's really good, yeah.
I've only seen it once.
Yeah, no, and it definitely has issues. And Channing Tatum, why? But like,
I love Chan.
like I hope the best for him. But Magic Mike should not be in that movie. He should be in Kingsman.
I hate those movies.
They're terrible, and he should be
The
there.
first
He makes
one
them
was
better.
good.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
You're wrong. But like that's
Objective.
very
Fine.
Another movie starring a great Taran is just ignored again.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
got
that
it.
Terran
Cool.
sucks. I
That
love this one.
This Taran is way better than that.
Yeah.
Taran.
I would watch this Terran in Kingsman a billion times over the other ones.
No.
I'd watch him have gay sex in Rocket Man only to have it cut from a Delta flight.
Oh
I
my
think that'd
god.
be great.
This Terran
yeah.
is Robin Hood?
Yeah.
Done.
Hey, John Gleason, Teske, I thought this was going to be like, say your movie, and then we'll go to the next person.
sorry.
Drawing it out.
It's
It's a Mexican standoff.
I think it's still Pulp
It's a
Fiction.
Mexican
I think
taste.
it's still Pulp Fiction. For me, yeah.
Django. Django's my favorite. Although I think that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is
Moving up.
I need more time with it.
Yeah, fair.
But like Django is like on my list of favorite movies of all time. I will say though, before Once Upon a Time came out in Hollywood, I rewatched Django and Inglourious Bastards, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot how fucking amazing Inglourious Bastards is.
Yeah.
Like that, and also when he carves the swastika in Landa's face in the end, and he's like, this might be my masterpiece. I was like, it might.
Yeah.
This is hard, but I'm gonna go with my gut and say it's Kill Bill Volume 1.
Kill Bill Volume
okay.
1. Has to be Kill Bill Volume 1. It's so fucking
Again, that yeah.
And it was one of the only times I've ever left a theater. There's like 2 or 3 times, I can't remember the other 2, but like of leaving a theater being like, I was 100% entertained.
Oh,
just
yeah.
that full the feeling of just like, not in just like a Michael Bay, Roland Emmerich way, just to be like, every single thing that could have hit in my brain's pleasure center, it absolutely did, and it was great.
Rewatching it though, and this might be like age happening,
Yeah.
but like there was a couple moments where I was watching and go, well, this is quite violent.
It might be his most violent movie.
It is easily.
Yeah, and I like violent. Oh, Hateful Eight's got some crazy kills in it.
Well, that's true. Hateful Eight. Well, and also as far as,
Django had the most explosive blood packets of all time. This thick, syrupy blood just blowing up.
And also people like defying physics and how hard
Yeah.
they shot.
Also,
Say
Inglourious
goodnight.
Bastards does have maybe like one of his highest body counts. As far as
True.
just, like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sheer
Yeah,
number
yeah,
of people who die.
I mean, there are 88 of them.
No, but they say make a point that there aren't that many people.
Yeah.
They just use it to like, you know.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Long story short, guys, it's been a half hour. I think you had a great Happy Hour Minisode.
Happy Hour
Well, we
Minisode
should make
about
this 2 hours
Tarantino.
long and make the actual ranking the minisode.
No, we're gonna do the Minisode, then we're gonna do the Minisode Volume 2. That's how we're gonna
Yes.
separate it out, because
Technically, they're the same.
Yeah.
Minisode.
It's minisode the whole bloody thing.
In the meantime, though, I mean, this John Gleason Teske, thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad you were here. Dave Coupe, you're an amazing person, and I'm so glad that you were a part of this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and Taran, as always.
Yeah.
Aw, he's so great. Guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm really glad we were able to do this. Thank you so much for supporting the season and everything else you've done. Please like us, subscribe. If you have the ability to throw a ranking on something, by all means. If you're on Grubhub and you order a Big Kahuna Burger, make sure you type in the Chartographers at checkout. It'll save you maybe something. I don't fucking know. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Have a good one and a good bye.
Swap Terrans!
Hashtag Swap Terrans.
Hello, this is David from the New Movies podcast, Catching Up David. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about one of the movies we watched recently that I liked the most, and that was Lilo and Stitch. I especially liked the aliens in Lilo and Stitch, which I didn't realize was a thing.
He didn't realize that was a thing because David doesn't know anything about modern pop culture. He somehow missed all of the 2000s. So Kristen and I, we made a list of the pop culture canon, movies that we feel were influential,
and have really solidified their place in today's pop culture.
and we make David watch them. So if you want to experience someone experiencing pop culture for the first time, having lived in a bubble, we can be found at Catching Up David on Twitter.
Or you can find us any place you listen to podcasts.
Or at catchingupdavid.podbean.com.